welcome back to Dark Souls. It's been a while since I've been able to actually do a video here. It hasn't been by choice, honestly. I've actually been playing a fair bit of this game, not recorded, but I've had a hard time getting a quiet session where I can actually do voice recording and everything. And I was going to do it last week, but I managed to get some kind of horrible mouth sore on my tongue that made talking a complete bitch. Mostly because I got maybe, I don't know, 10-15 minutes in and my mouth would start bleeding, which is just the sort of thing you want for this kind of game, right? Really add some realism to the whole painful existence that I must be living here. So we're in the painted world of Ariamis, one of the hidden areas in Dark Souls. The other being an area called the Great Hollow. That's it. And ow, right in the fucking dome. The Great Hollow is a big empty tree thing that leads down to an area called Ash Lake. And we will probably go there if we haven't already. I can't honestly remember. Probably we haven't been there. It's not the sort of thing that, you know, you go to if you don't have a reason, honestly. There's not a whole lot there. It's really pretty looking. I won't lie about that. But there's not like a whole lot to actually see. Or to actually get. Not a lot of loot or anything. Tables. Alright. I have to get back into this character. The other characters I were playing I had a really big heavy character where I put on the heaviest armor I could without being completely over encumbered. I don't have a ranged weapon here. Oh god. Damn it. Do I have any one use item? Alright. Yeah, I got into the heaviest armor I could get into without being completely over encumbered, but I was still fat rolling and like as close to over encumbered as possible. And I got the biggest heavy strength weapon I could get a hold of, and just kind of had fun with that. It's amusing. I actually tried to get a large club for that playthrough, and of course, got none of them. Got a Baldur side sword on the first Baldur Knight I ever killed, but of course I did not get the large club I was looking for. Oh god, I don't have any fucking ranged weapons here. Alright, the other character I did was kind of I did a hunter. I've never started as a hunter class, and I used a lot of, I used a lot of bow and arrow stuff, and I used a Dexy weapon. I use a spear specifically. I considered using the pike, because I've never used the pike before, but its scaling is crap. I think it does more damage overall in the end, but whatever. All about that scaling. Anyway. The Painted World of Ariamis here is actually the first level they ever created for this game. And it was created as sort of a... I'm just going to avoid these assholes because they toxic you, and that's very annoying. It was created as a sort of test bed for other elements of the game, I think. And the boss of the area was actually supposed to play a larger role in the game as a whole. If you know anything about Demon Souls or Dark Souls 2, oh damn it. Yep. If you know anything about Demon Souls or Dark Souls 2, or even Bloodborne, they all include what you would call a leveling up lady. Just a woman who exists in your little hub area who her job is essentially, damn, these guys do a lot more damage than I would expect. Jesus. Please stop. I'm gonna really quickly kindle this. But it's get rid of that one. They're women that essentially act as your level up point, whereas in here you can level up at any bonfire. Supposedly the boss of this area was supposed to be one of these characters. And she has a whole, in the game code, she has a whole lot of different animations and stuff, animations that are never used actually in game, that were supposedly supposed to be part of her actions as what I guess would be like the main fire keeper or whatever. Now all she does is sit in here and be a bunch of people's waifu. Touch fuzzy tail, etc. This area is interesting because it's very small in terms of like sheer area. There's not a whole lot of like ground you're covering. Basically, you can see the entire level from the very beginning. It's just like this little area, this building and everything. What makes it interesting is the fact that you really heavily use all this area. It's a very vertically oriented level, because you're all up in and over these buildings and below them and inside them, just everywhere. So it's a very interesting but very easy to get lost in thing. Oh jeez. Yeah, hi. Okay, that's a big undead dragon. Would you please stop following me? Don't wanna hit you from the... Oh, jeez. Yeah. Well, we'll fight the undead dragon. He's easy, he's just kind of a nuisance. He's easy because he breathes this shitty poison stuff. But it only goes certain areas. Like now he's gonna breathe over here. Oop. Oop. Or maybe not. Oh, there he goes. Don't think he has a melee attack. That was the thing that makes the big undead dragon in the Valley of the Drakes dangerous, is the fact that he has this really huge melee attack where he sweeps his head and claws and everything everywhere. And that's one of those... Oh, no, there I guess he has it. He's just a lot harder to trigger. The one in the Valley of the Drakes would trigger if you get anywhere near the front of him. Yoop. Yoop. And that stuff, it does poison, but it's like the actual damage it deals. Yeah, see, it's very small. It's almost inconsequential. I mean, hell, the fucking hollows do more than this, bro. Can't tell if I'm hitting him. His hitbox is a little janky, especially on his hands. Doesn't help I'm using this little sword here. Oh, well, okay. I'm totally over there. You've made a fatal mistake, sir. think he drops a dragon scale. Let's get this crap. Yep. And this over here is a rarely seen but fairly good shield called the Blood Shield. It's interesting because it gives you all sorts of resistances to things, as the thing here will say. I'll throw that on real fast so you can see which ones. Oh, it's armor. Nope, wrong one. There you go. See, it gives you a bunch of resistances to basically everything in every status effect in the game. The biggest, of course, being bleed. Or I should say the biggest boost of which you get is from bleed. Or for bleed. Blech. I can brain. Clearly I can't, because I just put all my shit away trying to take it out. We could go up there. Really, though, I want to get through this area up to a certain point fairly quickly, because there's a set of armor I like. Set of armor I want. You probably know what it is if you've played this game. This right here, this horrible amalgamation of flesh and spears, is a homage to a Demon Souls boss called the Phalanx. An homage we will be running the fuck past. Because they're not hard, they're kind of a nuisance. The Phalanx in the original Demon Souls was actually a bunch of shadowy things that resembled that. Bigger shields, better spears, and the big difference there is that they were individual enemies and everything in the boss fight, but there was a sort of central core that you had to fight, or that you had to do damage to in order to damage the boss, as opposed to here where it's just a bunch of similar enemies, or a bunch of identical enemies, I should say. I've been considering doing not actually playthrough on here or anything, but I've been considering doing a pyromancy build, but not using any of the. Oh, there you are, Jeremiah. How are you? I'd like it if I could lock on, but not using any of the actual fireball spells. Oh, god damn it. His spell hit. I was trying to roll through his attack to get behind him, but his spell hit that spear there and popped lava all over everything. Damn chaos pyromancies. Alright, well, let's human up again. Go fight him once more. But no, I've been considering doing oh, that's right. Reverse hopping thing. A pyromancy build using a bunch of the sort of non-standard pyromancies, the like Power Within, Poison Mist, Toxic Mist, Steel Flash, that sort of thing. And also combustions, you know. Pair that with Quelaag's Fury Sword, which is a demonic sword that, oh god damn you. That fucking flail. I have made a mistake. Why am I so bad at this? Oh. These fucking hollows, man. Like, this is a running theme in a lot of these Dark Souls games. The starter enemies are much more dangerous than you would expect, because they just kind of flail and they move very awkwardly. Like, they move slowly, and that's that's the hardest thing to parry and to anticipate, is a slow attack. When somebody's swinging at you right away, you see them rear up and you're like, oh, I gotta dodge, so you roll. But these guys, like, they'll rear up, and sometimes they'll immediately go into an attack, like a huge chain attack, that flail. But then again, sometimes This guy is garbage if you actually can manage to get in close and stop him from doing his attacks. Yeah, Dark King Jeremiah. Let's see what his retrieve remaining power here. Out of humanity, I think. A notched whip. Fairly interesting weapon. The reason why I wanted to kill him is you get his silly ass armor from it. But, no, these fucking hollows, man. They're a lot harder than you would expect. I think they're harder than the Silver Knights, honestly. At least for me. Alright, what to level? My dex isn't at 40 yet. We'll level the dex to the soft cap. Oh, yeah, it's already kindled. Down you go. Damn it. You too. Alright. Where do I have to go in here? Alright, you have to go up here. I don't have to go up here, but I'm going to go up here. Okay, that's one way down into the unfun. Which way am I thinking? I'm trying to remember the correct way to go here. It's been a long time since I've done the Painted World of Ariamis. I don't tend to do it. It's kind of a nuisance, honestly. I mean, it's great for some things, and it's a very nice level, but I find it sort of annoying to have to actually fight through at times, especially when I don't really need any of the stuff in here. It's got some interesting things, obviously. It's got a very good weapon for a dex magic build. It's got the occult chug. It's got the occult ember for if you want to make occult stuff, but no one really ever makes occult stuff. It's like making divine stuff. It's kind of shitty for everywhere except a few places. Although, admittedly, occult is really good against a couple of bosses and enemies. We'll need it later. Yeah, these are the wheel skeletons. I don't think we've ever seen them before in this playthrough. Haven't been to the catacombs yet. These things are dangerous for a lot of reasons. I'll try and show you one here. That. See, I've got a really good shield. A very good, and I think very well upgraded shield. I don't honestly remember. But if these things catch you with a lesser shield, what's this shield at? 3, yeah. 3, this is a Twinkling Titanite shield, I believe. So 3 is like akin to around +10. That's got a sting there. These guys can drop this wheel as a shield, by the way. It's pretty neat. But no, these things, if they get you and you have a lesser shield and you try to block them, they will just grind the fuck out of you and destroy your stamina and then just fucking destroy you. Because they will, like, you'll stand in place, stunned, while they continue to grind against your head and chest and screaming face and just take your entire life bar. These things are really kind of easy if you have a good shield, or, you know, just good heavy armor that'll prevent you from being stun locked. But if you're a light character, or you don't have a shield, or just like you're not kind of built to survive a lot of damage, these things can one-shot, well, not one-shot you because they do like a bajillion hits at once, but they can just kind of hold you in place and teach you the meaning of road rage. Alright, I forget what's in this terrible fucking maze. There. Luckily, I've got a good stabby weapon and a good shield, so they're not too much trouble for me, at least. Really, I think they get the majority of their kills based off of ambushing you, because they can come rolling from a long distance, and they often hang around in places like this where it's all dark and you can't really see or lock on to anything at any distance. Or they hide around corners. That's also one of their favorite tactics. Fuck you. Apparently this is an enemy in Berserk as well. Something that he had to fight. Which is not at all surprising. This game... Thank you. Entirely useless for us, but shows off where it is. That one's an interesting pyromancy, because most pyromancies, you press the trigger, and your guy hurls a fireball or whatever. It's very, like, you press the trigger once and the attack happens, and that's it. Oh, I see you over there, friend. Oh, my attack missed. Oh, you son of a bitch. But, nope. Yeah, they actually have close range attacks where they try and slap you. Oh god, you saw that. You saw that, didn't you? I barely got hit. Like, I was being hit for just a few seconds there, but they won half my life, and I'm in pretty good armor. But no, Fire Surge is interesting because it's sort of a flamethrower type attack where you hold the button, and the longer you hold the button, the longer your attack goes on. Like, it shows you have 80 casts, but it's like every second you hold the button drains something like 5 or 10 or maybe even more casts. Hey, you guys aren't very good at this. Man, what fucked up shit do you have to go through to be a hollow and then turn into jello? Do they have more than 2 arms? No, I can see their legs. I can see they have their legs sticking out the back there. And they have 2 arms. What look like spears coming from their dark signs. No, I guess something just turned them into slugs. Maybe Seath. Fucking Seath. Yeah, you can see these things are not hard, they're just kind of a nuisance. Because there's so many of them, they can hit you from all the angles. There's no real good way to handle this. You just kind of have to keep darting in and out and doing as much damage and killing as quickly as possible. Don't fucking drop anything either. Yeah, turning the crank down there in the wheel skeleton funhouse opens the far door over there, which leads us to our boss. Let's go over here first, though. Get ourselves some other armor, and show off that intelligence dexterity weapon. This place, by the way, excuse me. Reposition myself there a bit. This place is one of the more contentious places in Dark Souls, because there's a running idea, a running subcurrent idea amongst the lore that the entire game, like all the events of the game, are being orchestrated by a particular goddess named Velka. And that she is the goddess of sin, and that she essentially recruited our beautiful heroine here in order to punish the gods for their actions against the world and humans and sort of like the natural order. And this place, this world here, this place where a lot of terrible people are banished to, has a lot of items related to Velka and a lot of crow imagery, which she is supposed to be related to crows. Which way is it to that armor? It's up there. So a lot of people contend that this is evidence of, like, this is Velka's world, and that the reason... Oh, fuck. Speaking of crows, there goes one that can't fly too well. I don't have any ranged attack. Black Fireball. A lot of people contend that this world of things being banished is somehow related to her, and that it shows... Ah, fuck. I hadn't thrown that one into the stairs. We're in a bad position. Jug. Ooh, oh damn. Careful Valve Silence. That is your standard anti-sorcery thing. Prevents people from casting. Here's that armor I was talking about. That's the same stuff as the Pardoner up in the Bell Tower wears. He, of course, is also related to Velka. Yep. Yeah, the idea is that the Velka is somehow, like, controlling all this and using you to punish the gods, and the big crow that takes you from the asylum in the beginning is, like, her avatar or whatever. And this is, like, the place where they tried to banish her, or where she banished people, or something like that. I don't know. Fucking lore in this game. It's one of those things of, a lot of people say this game has no story. And that's a lie. The game has a story. It's a very simple story. It's the story of this dumbass getting picked up from an asylum and being forced to kill a bunch of gods. But the lore in the game is very complex, and there's a lot of contention about different aspects of it, despite the fact that there's really no... Like, I think if I remember right, Miyazaki said something along the lines of the point of the story is it's more important what you imagine or take from it than what I say it is. So, a lot of contention there, but in the end, a little bit silly. Although fucking VatiVidya made $1 billion fucking dollars off of it, despite the fact that he took basically all of his stuff from 4chan threads about the game, or just outright plagiarized imagery, apparently. So, what the hell do I know? I could have been making $5,000 a month just talking about a fucking video game. Let's pop a soul so we can get the rest of that. Nothing worse than being almost at a level. Especially when you're about to go into uncharted territory. Well, not uncharted, but... Alright, so the armor we got there I'll show off here in a second once we're at a safe spot. And the weapon I'll show off as too. It's the Rapier of Velka or something. I forget the exact name. Once again, Velka. All about that Velka in here. The safe place I choose is Boss Fog up there. Yeah, no thank you. Your arrows are very slow, sir. Poke. Hey, neat shot. Hey, nice one. That's a good one. Hey, look, bunch of hollows. Fuck you. Fuck you as well. Hey, look, it's a, what were they called? Hide Knights, I think? No. No, Hide? Was Hide? No, Hide is from Dark Souls 2. Hides Tower of Flame. These guys have a name. Bernecki, maybe? It just sounds like a fucking, an accountant or something. But we saw an example of an unhollowed version of this guy up in the Sen's Fortress where he sold you stuff. Poke you in the butt there, friend, you and your can opener hat. There we go. Alright, so the boss of this one, as I was saying before, was originally supposed to be a more important character. Here.